You are listening to the Kentucky X-Files with hosts Dennis Mays, Tyler Stewart, and Josh Gibbs. Don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you never miss an episode. Now, on to our show.
Something that would be in the context of the supernatural.
He described as being a gray, silver-looking, upright bipedal creature, dragging a deer out of that cave going up the hill.
Where he goes, hey, I got a question for you. He goes, do you believe in demons?
And it takes one big step and vanishes. I'm like, oh my God, that was a Bigfoot.
Monster. And look at these pictures of this white creature.
Something 7'3" to 8 foot tall.
Right.
That, let's say it like.
And I'm telling you right now, if this was a bear, and this bear was standing on his hind legs, and he was running like a man, no, this wasn't no bear.
Now, when it stood up, that's when I knew it was a dog man.
Welcome back, guys, to the Kentucky X-Files. Today I guess we're going to be talking about some...
It's October. It's October now.
I guess that we're talking about October,
No,
right?
I mean, you think it's October. This is our first ever October podcast. Ever.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
because we haven't hit a year yet. It's
Yeah.
close to a year.
Yeah, it's getting there, but
Yeah.
Now this is the spookiest month of the year. Really. Which I find awesome.
Right.
So I know, like, all this, I know you got some shit going on this month, so I know we're going to be recording extra stuff so we can keep you guys out there entertained. I've got me and my wife's anniversary this month, too, that so we're going to go out to dinner, hopefully.
Nice.
Yeah.
What day is the anniversary?
The anniversary will be on the 19th, but we'll probably have to move whatever we do.
You got married on Charlotte's birthday.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
No shit, yeah. That's cool. I knew that kid was...
I remember that now.
Oh, yeah. 19, I don't know why, but that's been for some reason that number just reoccurs over and over with me and Kat, you know.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, everybody out there, thank you so much for the reception of Kat and her little guest spot on the what was it, Cryptid Theory, where she took a look at Scott Carpenter's stuff. You know, I actually think that listening to her opinion, really, it was awesome.
Yeah. Oh, she did a banger job.
So she's sitting there, you know, even now, you know, she's like, I don't know exactly what's going on in this. She's like, but it's not from a photography side. It's not being edited in. This is a phenomenon that's on film, you know.
Right.
And she does. She likes to split hairs a little bit in regards to it being a video, you know, and all that. But I mean, if you look at the source material, I mean, how far away that happened in the video, a movement going on, because even what I showed on the video, that was me stabilizing it frame by frame, and I still couldn't get it. So if someone went in and they edited that in, it would have taken, I don't even know how long, just to get that phenomenon to not move, because there was so much going on, you know. And it wasn't like, you know, like superimposing something, you know, where it's going to visibly not move and your eye will go right to it. This is organic in the film, you know. But it spawned some crazy ideas in my head, which with respect to Scott Carpenter, you know, he's fully in on the portals thing. I'm not really. I just don't see. I don't see how. I guess, you know, if someone could lay that out for me, how it's happening, I would love that. But I did start thinking of something else as I was watching it over and over again, which was, it looked like the whole area was just kind of, I don't want to say blurring, you know, not like the Predator, you know, but like dimming. Like this thing was just there and it just dimmed. And then later on, as I tracked it, you can actually see the thing like kind of scurry off. And as I was watching it, I'm like, you know what? I mean, all these people who've actually went in pursuit of the big guy, they always kind of come to the same thing. We hear it just disappeared, it vanished, the track stopped, or it went down into the ground, or it just we just lost track of it completely, and all I kept thinking was, well, what if that's just what if that is what's going on? What if it's just expert at what it does? I don't know. It's just, I'm not trying to claim it, like it's a fact or anything, but it is strange that so many occurrences and sightings, and they always vanish like that,
Right. Yeah, they did say that, like, and other people say that the big guy might have some type of natural camouflage. Its fur could change around it, but the one thing that gets me on that is that would be the first, I guess you would say, first mammal to be able to do that, and it's it's doing it like the only other creature that I've heard is it the chameleon that can do that, and I know
there's an octopus.
There's an octopus, okay, but that's bare skin. This is talking about now that their fur is into it, so their fur would have to have some type of think of those lamps that have a million little strings hanging off of it, and it has a light down at the base.
Yeah, little fiber optic lamps.
Yeah, and they have the little lights that glow on the tips. The hair follicle, that's what I was thinking. The hairs would have to be something like that to change, and its actually skin would have to go through it. So that would be weird. That's something that's wouldn't be of this world. I would say, because it's something that we've never came across.
There was a while back where someone had claimed that they had a couple hair samples, and that the hair samples were almost translucent, like they were almost see-through. And I don't remember. Maybe somebody out there listening can fact check that. But I seem to recall someone out there saying they had hair samples. I don't know.
Then why would they stay brown or black or what? That's the. Is it just because it's a natural color that's out in the woods and it stays for the most part?
It's wild though. It would explain a few things, like the orbs. The orb thing. I mean, I don't know. People say they've seen orbs, they've seen all this stuff happen, and it's right there. It's at the edge of my spotlight, and I know it's there, but I can't seem to see it. It makes a lot of that make sense, but again, I'm grabbing. I don't know.
Yeah, and thing too, you gotta think too is you gotta, what actually causes this change? You would think that if this is a physical change or something, it would probably take a lot of energy. That's probably why you see the sightings you have, people have had. It's because that they can't produce it as much, but it's maybe the brown is a natural state it is in.
I don't know.
So what the podcast is we I just jump.
All
Maybe
right.
grasp from some straws.
Real quick on the subject of the big guy, which I know we got other stuff we're going into tonight. I get that, but I got this. It says here, Kentucky X-Files received a new message from Kenny Roggins. And it says, the Amish don't post about Bigfoot on social media, nor do they release blurry photographs. I suggest you let that one marinate. Thank you, Kenny. Appreciate it. And I'm pretty sure Kenny Roggins is one of our buddies. So just to make you look like a dick, I went in and I researched it. The Amish, quite a bit of the Amish fully believe in the Sasquatch, and there's quite a bit of Amish sightings. You don't hear about them because they are, in fact, not on any kind of social media or computers. So if you want to hear about the Amish sightings, you have to actually go and speak face to face like human beings.
And probably they're like the Native Americans. They they probably know about them. They just don't screw with them.
Well, check it out. A convenient fact, right? When the Amish spot Sasquatch, guess how many times they've taken pictures?
0.
Not once, because they don't do that.
They don't care. They don't mess with it.
Terrible.
So I'm just saying, it's. I respect the Amish a lot. I think the Amish are some tough ass hombres. I mean, building your house from scratch, hardworking, good people. I've never been in an argument with the Amish people, not even once. And I've had them over to my farm several times to do work for me and things like that. And you know what? I wouldn't trade them for nothing.
Right. But damn it, Ezekiel, get your canvas.
And paint us a picture of what you saw.
Paint
I
us
want
a picture.
some crimson red. Some what's the other ones? I just watched the damn documentary on them, and I can't even remember the names of the colors. It's screw it. I done screwed up the joke. Ezekiel Ross.
Ezekiel Ross.
I want to see a painting.
Yeah. There's no excuse. According to Kenny Roggins, I'm pretty sure I know who sent that one to us.
I think I do too.
Yeah. So.
Didn't he sing the caution area?
Oh, it's funny. Over on the YouTube channel, we've got quite a bit of activity. You guys really, really keep us busy. I try to respond to everybody as much as possible, but the work week has been pretty crazy, and sometimes I don't get back quite as soon as I want to. Got a few highlights here I can throw out. Got this one from Brittany, and I actually thought this one was pretty cool. In following up to what was it, episode 36 with Eric. She said, "Y'all, I have to say something. I listened to this right after you posted it on Spotify. Thanks for that too, by the way, so I could play my game at the same time." Well, that's, you know what? No problem. Don't mention it.
Nice.
She says, y'all guys seem like some of the most dandy folks out there. Though I'm not living right, I know God is real, and time is definitely running out. And I know you don't know me from anyone else, so why should I matter to you? But I actually felt my heart drop when y'all were talking about God and Him not needing to be, or not being needed anymore. I want so bad for y'all to start believing. This may be my reason to start praying again. I love you guys. Eric, you're an inspiration. My stepdad was an alcoholic, and I was a painkiller addict for a good portion of the 20s. Life is hard enough without all that stuff. Thanks for sharing your story. It all happens for a reason. Making a believer out of someone is possibly one of those reasons. And you know what? We love you too. And Brittany, honestly, I think the sentiment is very nice. That you want us to be okay in our souls. How do you take insult from that? I
Right.
can't. I mean,
I don't.
If someone comes up and they said, I want to see you in the light of the God I believe in. I want to see your soul saved. I can't be upset because I know that person means well.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Brittany, you know what I think? I think you keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting out that positive. There's so much negative out there,
Right.
I don't think we need any more. I tell my children, I've been telling my children this since they were little. I was raised up as a non-believer, basically. We didn't go to church. I wasn't baptized. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm a critical mind. And I've criticized religion most of my life, and only recently did I give that up. I told my children, be a shining light, always. Because if you fall into negativism, it's not going to make you unique because there's so much of it already there. It's not unique. But being the one person to shine, that will make you unique. Be that person. And it doesn't have to be anything big. You don't have to save no one's soul. It's as simple as holding the door for somebody, shaking a hand, you know, saying thank you. It's so simple, you know. It doesn't take much, and the more you do it, the more it adds up. So thank you, Brittany. I appreciate that. I know, you know, as far as saving our souls, you know, I appreciate the attempt. We poor sinners. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Fairy Girl. I think when we even get close to touching that veil of death, it opens you more to the supernatural world, the spiritual realm. I do believe in spiritual intervention, and we have to listen to that gut instinct, the instinct, exactly the sixth sense. My step into that realm from the accidental overdose from prescription medications, I died a couple times. I didn't need anyone to tell me what happened. I watched it happen. I heard what was happening and being shocked to life. Through that experience, it pushed my faith in God way above what any religion could have done. It pushed my belief in the supernatural, spiritual, and natural world. Our character is made from our mistakes. It is a decision of whether to learn from those mistakes or keep falling deeper into darkness. I do believe anything is possible. Thank you, guys. That's pretty, that's a pretty hard hitter right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm very glad that you made it through. And it's not just because I'm greedy and I want you on our channel. I want all of you guys to be okay, though. And that is because I'm greedy and I do want you on there. I mean, we're coming up on a year. So if you're struggling out there, get help. We put the links out there. If you need someone to talk to, reach out. I'm not going to stop saying it. I want you guys to be there for the 100th episode. You know, I don't know what's going to happen. I want you guys to be there so we can be, you know, surprised together. What else we got? A lot of these are a couple weeks behind because you know we skipped some of these when we were recording. Travis Drum, going through withdrawals after quitting cold turkey is one of the worst things a person can experience, and I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. He said, addiction sucks. I was a drug addict for 15 years of my life, and I just hit my 3-year mark of sobriety. So,
excellent.
Congrats to you, Travis. I was actually sent him a message earlier telling him that we demand his phone number because we put a little challenge a week ago, I think, or 2 weeks ago, and to figure out where the quote came from, and Travis got the answer right, which was really cool. Which, you know, what's wild is that he must have really, really searched, because it's a very, very obscure story from a very, you know, it's a prominent author, but that story's not a really, really popular one.
Super fan.
Let's see here. Kentucky Greenskeeper. Hey, Denny and crew. I have to say, I don't even know the guest you had on, but listening to what he went through and the fact that he decided to deal with it makes me proud as hell of him. A lot of people would just continue the addiction. Thanks for sharing your story, and good for you, bud. I am proud of you. That's awesome.
Yeah, that episode was a powerful episode for sure.
Absolutely.
I even received a phone call about it. You know, that it had changed a friend of mine's entire perspective on addiction and alcohol and how he saw things.
You know, talking to my kid about it, my daughter, you know, and she listened to it. You know, and honestly, it's you would think that being the cool dad, they would just always listen to it, but no, they don't want to listen to me more than they already have to.
Right.
And she actually listened to it, and she had her really good friend, Frog, and I'm shouting you out right now, Frog. I call him Froge. They listened to it, and you know, just talking to them a little bit about it, you know, as far as my personal stance on it, you know, was it, you know, the DTs, or was it a spiritual, you know, intervention or whatever? And I told them, it's like, guys, you know what? I cannot draw a line in the sand on this one. You know, it's too complex for me.
Right.
To me, I think that one could easily lead to the other. You know, and vice versa. You know, there's people that have had extreme paranormal events in their life, and they went headfirst into addiction to get rid of it. You know what I mean? Have you heard of this before, where people experience something, they dive into addiction just to make it quiet, to get it out of their head? And then why not, that this person is experiencing a horrible after effect of cold turkey, basically, that literally just throws your entire body and mind off kilter. Why wouldn't that be the perfect time for something to take advantage?
Yeah.
Even though it seemed to be two different things, two different sides, or maybe it really was just, his mind in two different ways, arguing it out. So I don't know. Pretty wild.
And I'm sure, even with it being, semi-recent, I guarantee you there's stuff that he's forgotten that's happened.
Oh, yeah.
Something that eventful, there's no way you could absorb all of it.
Absolutely, yeah. Here's one for you. In regards to episode 30, the dog man at the gas station, the UFO versus the P-51 Mustang. Where was all this anti-vaxxing been when throughout our lives we had been forced to be vaccinated against various diseases and we all survived? Our kids can't go to school without being vaccinated. I'm vaccinated and I'm no longer afraid I'm going to die. However, I listen to this show because I don't want to think about the outside world issues. The template for the vaccine has been out for years, so it's not just put out. Quit spreading disinformation with your list of doctors who are against vaccines. Have you vetted each of the doctors there to make sure that they are licensed? Quit spreading misinformation. That one's in all capitals to really hammer it home. Sending the list is spreading misinformation. Trump and the GOP made masks and vaccines and blah, blah, blah. Thank you for your comment, and we definitely respect your beliefs, but we don't take responsibility for that list. And no, I did not vet the list because I was only ever going to send it to anyone who was interested in it. If they want it, there it is. It's not up to me, and it's not our responsibility.
Yeah, it's up to them to make their own decision. Like, I feel like we all made our decisions based on the whole. I'm not going to tell somebody because I want to be. I don't want to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell somebody not to get vaccinated.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
I'm a fat guy that lives in Kentucky. Why does my opinion matter?
I almost wonder if they're talking about the person that sent it.
Oh.
I don't know. If they're talking about us, then you obviously haven't listened enough to realize that we aren't pushing you for anything. You make up your own mind.
Not only that, how are you going to come after an X-Files podcast and tell us to quit putting out misinformation?
Yeah, we could be receiving misinformation at any direction, so...
Yeah, this is cryptid stuff. Everything is misinformation, or it's the truth. That's what makes it spooky.
Absolutely. The vaccine. I love it that's coming back up, my opinion, I'm not going to speak for you guys. My personal opinion is, if you feel like you need the vaccine, go get it. If you don't want it, don't get it. It's up to you. It's not my responsibility. It's totally on you. Do what sets you free.
Yeah, I'm I'm the same way. But the one group of people I do 100% agree with is the people that are totally against government mandate that everybody gets it. Mm-hmm. I'm with those guys. The U.S. government has no business telling us what to do.
Right.
They need to stop that. It's ridiculous how far they try to do overreach.
See, I think that's kind of where this coming together at this table, this discussion is if I fully disagreed with you, totally respect what you're saying.
Right.
And that's what we need out there too, guys. Yeah. This place isn't a place for drawing lines in the sand. This is a place for coming together and sharing pieces of the puzzle.
People have forgotten how to have a conversation without getting their emotions involved.
Yeah, because they make it sound like no matter who that guy was, that person was directing.
They could have been not after us at all.
Wherever they're directing it.
That's kind of where I'm feeling too.
No matter what, we're not. What was the term he used?
He looked right at you and he said, "Tyler, this is all your fault."
No, I was just saying. I'm saying is that.
I mean, not only that, people are not coming to Kentucky X-Files for their vaccine information.
That was a random email that we got.
Yeah, we actually discussed whether or not to put it on the air.
Yeah.
Or not on the air, but on the podcast.
Yeah.
But all I was saying is that it shouldn't. We let you make your own decisions, no
Right.
matter what.
Absolutely.
We don't put anything on here, like Josh was saying. Like, we don't know what we're getting. Like, even the information that we find might be askew in any way. So
Yeah.
it's not. We're letting you make the decision.
Right.
If somebody asks us for that list, I'm sorry, whoever sent that comment. We're gonna send him the list and make his own decision.
Right.
Whoever asks for us, just like you're an adult, you wrote that comment, you made that decision.
The essence of it is that we are literally not controlling a narrative here.
Yeah.
If you want that, there's a couple of big names out there that love doing that. You're welcome to go check them out. I literally just read an email that was probably bogus from Kenny Roggins.
Right.
And I read an email from an anonymous person that had a list of doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Those are both ends of the spectrum. You know, we like Josh said, we sat here and we discussed whether or not to put that out. In the end, we were like, let's just put it out there because we're not going to hold stuff back from you guys, except for our bad taste in jokes. Just terrible, terrible jokes you guys don't need to hear.
Unless you pay for them.
Unless you want to pay for them. We'll sell them $1 a joke.
We'll get on Patreon.
Yeah.
Start selling our...
If you want us to call a family member and tell them a joke on the show, I'm just saying it's going to be a terrible joke because none of us are going to research it and put the time in. It'll be on the fly, you know. It would be cool to call people and like wish them happy birthdays and stuff. Oh my God.
You don't have a washer on your microphone.
I don't. It was working so good till I touched it.
But yeah, I think the guy was directing it to whoever sent it to us, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if he
that guy was, like he said, it was a anonymous person. So it could have been a person that was blowing smoke up our ass. But we don't know that. But like Denny said, we were just going to let the viewers choose. And have you even even throw this out? No one has asked
no
for
one's
it.
asked
So
for it. No one's followed up. So I forgot all about it until that comment. To be honest.
Yeah, I totally forgot. When you read what the title of the episode was, I was like, "Cool. What are they going to talk about? The firefighter over Kentucky?" Nope.
I was hoping that they were.
Email.
I was really hoping that they were gonna talk about the thing that happened at the gas station.
Oh,
Yeah.
another person?
I was hoping.
That's what I was thinking. I was like,
Another witness
yeah.
to that. I was thinking, like, man, I hope it's like somebody who's like, my great granddad saw the UFO and the P-51 chasing each other through the sky in Litchfield, Kentucky. Like, that would have been freaking awesome.
That would be cool. I did. I saw a video of 2 fighter jets escorting a UFO.
Did you?
Yeah, that was interesting. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. It was really compelling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watched that one, and then I got on this big kick one night where I was like, you know what?
Where'd you find it at?
It was a YouTube video. I know that.
Man, I keep finding the same, like, 5 videos, and it's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Damn algorithms.
Yeah.
People keep making the some of them popular.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Bigfoot picture that kept circulating.
Yeah.
Where this one Bigfoot crosses the same river in every state in America.
Yeah.
But apparently
It's
the
background.
same background.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if there's snow on the ground.
Yep.
It falls out just in enough time for this Bigfoot to cross this river.
It was the Arizona pine tree forest, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Arizona pines in the mountains.
Yeah, a friend of mine. Oh, actually, everybody knows him. Landis. He messaged me and goes, "Dude, this happened in my state." And I'm reading it, and I'm like, "Oh wow," because that was the first time I'd heard about it. And then on another Bigfoot group, I see it come up, and they're like, "This just happened in Indiana," and I'm like,
Yeah.
"No,
And
it
then
didn't.
I
That
saw it in
happened
Kentucky."
Missouri."
And then I got my mom sent it to me and said it happened here.
Yeah.
So we have 2 for Kentucky,
Yeah.
1 for Missouri so far, and 1 for like Arizona, I think.
That Bigfoot's a rambling man.
He is a scooting.
That is not a moseying.
No, he's not
He's
low.
sprinting.
Yeah. He's moving.
That guy's got frequent flyer miles.
I did recently though.
It might be the Bat Squatch.
That's probably why he's so damn skinny, and looks like a guy in a
Yeah.
monkey suit.
His
'cause
skin's
he's-
sagging.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's losing calories, guys.
I'm
They
now-
need to go out to
I'm
that
concerned
spot
about him now.
and put a McDonald's in, because he's gonna come through there any day now.
So another species can be mad about the ice cream machine.
Oh Jesus!
Or the
I
credit
didn't
card
think about
machine.
that. Yeah, it's probably it's probably a bad idea. I would say maybe a Taco Bell, but
Yeah.
just Bigfoot shitting everywhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't
They don't
sound
have
great.
toilet paper,
Yeah.
man. That's
Yeah.
that's cruel.
I did see recently. I don't know. I know you keep up with Thinker Thunker too, right?
Sometimes, yeah. I try to, but
The Bigfoot picture where it's crossing a river. He actually dissected that and literally pulled. Like he went in and traced it and pulled it off, and it's literally like it's holding a baby.
see, the one I saw looked like it had a deer on its shoulder, like it was.
I saw
carrying a
that
deer.
too. He did. A lot of people were saying that they saw a rifle sticking up. He actually did debunk that by showing that it's artifacting from pixelation. You're familiar with that, right?
No.
When something pixelates a lot, it basically, since there's a lack of information there, it just starts filling in with the nearest color that it can. So the rifle only happens for like a tenth of a frame.
Well, that's a good thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
How terrifying would it be if Bigfoot was armed?
That would be terrible. 'Cause then they wouldn't. I guess they wouldn't be throwing rocks at people anymore.
So would that be like that would be a different movie?
Yeah.
Planet of the Sasquatch.
Oh God. The one thing he did say though is that he actually found the location on the map, got the topography for it, found out that river right where it's crossing is only about 3 feet deep. So if it is a Sasquatch, it's not a very big one.
Oh.
It's a smaller.
Yeah.
So
I guess
it could have been
It looks
female.
maybe 6 to
'Cause
7
you said
feet
it was-
tops. You know?
It was like holding something like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same picture that video you were saying.
Yeah.
So maybe it was.
I found something not too long ago, and I wish I would have screenshot it. Because when I went to go back to find it to send it to you,
Yeah.
there was somebody that laid claim to being the graphic artist that drew the, I guess for lack of a better word, I'm not sure how I'm sure your son could tell me what it is. When they make the skeletal outline in an electronic drawing in a computer, and you can put whatever skin on it you want
Yeah.
for the Idaho Bigfoot.
That'd be perfect.
No, he did it before the video. Like, it's a fake.
For sure.
He laid claim to the fact that he drew the program that made the Bigfoot walk, that did the feet breaking and
No
everything.
kidding.
Yeah,
Oh well, I've chalked that one off then.
yeah.
That's
and
perfect. I mean,
yeah.
if he literally debunked the Idaho, that's to me that's fantastic because
because the guy was like, "Here's a link to my website. Here's the you can download the format yourself
Yeah.
and make it whatever you want. But this is the Idaho Bigfoot. It's a fake."
that's. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot out there that are like, "Oh, damn it," but still, I mean, if you think about it, that's
It was-
great news.
It was too perfect.
Yeah, because even looking at the foot movement, I was like, this is compelling as hell.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, that's pretty wild. We actually had somebody message in on the Facebook. I'm trying to pull it up here. They wanted us to look into something. I'm trying to find it. If I can here. Let's see.
Didn't we do that on the midweek,
I
or is this another one?
think this is a different one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We've been getting a lot of these messages to the page, but they're coming in as comments. So it's not as easy to, to actually get them. There we go. Notifications. Wow. There's a lot on this. Crazy. I'll edit out the dead space on this. Special thanks to Thornhill for supplying the background today.
Backtracking to what I was telling earlier, I don't know if I had permission to say the guy's name that called me when we were talking about the Eric video.
Yeah.
And I guess I could just say his first name. on the safe side. But he is a fan. He's been listening for a while, and his guy's name's Ricky. Good dude. Loves the show. And I think his favorite thing is cowman.
Cowman.
Yeah.
We need to make a T-shirt of the cowman.
I agree.
I think it'd be fantastic.
Cowman, come stand by my window, scare me.
I don't want that to happen.
Cowman.
We had another message on the Facebook, and I cannot find it for the life of me. It's gonna bug me. I'm gonna be looking for it so we can bring it up on that.
I wish you guys could see it. He was scrolling for a solid
my
15
God.
minutes. He's actually sweating. I've never seen somebody scroll so hard.
Yeah, I have a callus on my thumb. That might have already been there, but if it wasn't, I'm sure I'd have a callus.
Yeah.
You know, just from that.
Yeah. I bet you there's like an indent in your screen where you
Yeah.
swipe so many times.
It's got a rut.
Yeah. Or a groove in it.
Yeah, it's October though. It's time for the ghost stories to start. You know, we're gonna hopefully start hearing that. I've got a little lead I'm working on, guys, to hopefully record the show from. I've said that like 3 times in the history of this.
Well,
keep
I
saying
feel like
on
that's
air.
the future. You're like throwing little bits and pieces into our fans. Like, we're gonna start broadcasting this. Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next week. But we will.
It would be cool if we could broadcast live. You know, just talk to people
Top of Madison Square Garden.
on top of the actual.
I don't
building,
know.
Or,
I thought that's what they say.
I don't know. But yeah, I'm working on a spot that's it's pretty close to here. It's supposed to be haunted. I'm wanting to set us up there and actually do a show in the middle of this haunted place and see if we get anything. And Gibbs, he's got him and Sam. She's got, what'd you say?
EMF and a spirit box.
And a spirit box, and then we have Tyler. So Tyler is a natural conduit.
Yeah. Ghost sponge.
Yeah, he will.
No, they're just trying. Like, I feel like they're just trying to put me in bad scenarios.
I don't know why, but Ghost Sponge literally just stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, we're like sitting here talking, and there's like a ghost messing with Tyler. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
It'd be cool to be able to do it live, but I don't know if we would have the ability to do that.
Yeah. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping, I mean, I can't say I'm hoping things happen to us, because I feel like that's just a dangerous thing. But if something, comes up, I mean, like a lot of people do the, what do you call it? What is it? EVs, electronic recordings or whatever. I mean, if you think about it, we're gonna have the place mic'd out. So, one of our listeners might be like, "Dude, there's some crazy shit going on in the background."
I've got a half a dozen microphones we can hook up. I don't think we got enough ports to do it with, but
yeah.
Oh, we can get more ports.
I have. I did when I was out on route this week. I was listening to this podcast of this guy who he goes and he explores caves, and he's by himself,
cool.
and he literally has a mic, and he just talks to the mic as he goes through this cave and describes what he's seeing. In the middle of this cave, these whispering voices started happening.
oh, that's cool.
And he literally gets freaked out. He's like, I don't know if that's like a bat or if it's birds or animals or something. He's like, that sounds like voices. And I'm listening to it in my earbud, and I'm like, dude, I'm getting freaked out, and I'm not even there. Like, it literally sounded like if whispers came from hell.
Yeah,
That's what it sounds like.
that's cool.
And it was terrifying. I'm sure just by that description you should be able to find it, because like always, I can't remember the name of the thing, but if I do find it, I'll post it on our Facebook.
And there was something I was wanting to talk about that. Something along the same line. There's a phenomenon that happens like under ceiling fans. Has something to do with like the whirling and the air pressure and the way they work. There's like a thing that can happen where you can like kind of hallucinate if you sit under a ceiling fan and it's going the correct speed.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but it's like people have ghost stories, and come to find out their fans just happen to be at the exact right speed and the right electromagnetic interference or whatever, and I guess the type stuff messes with your ears. And
it's crazy. You just reminded me of something very, very close. 2 very close family members told me it happened to them years ago. where their whole house, out of nowhere, the lights start flickering. The ceiling fan literally stops and reverses itself. And it literally went so much, it ripped itself out of the ceiling. And this shit happened, and they like freaked.
That's insane.
And it was nuts because I'm like I said, these are very, very close family members. And the area that I'm talking about, I've brought it up before, and it's just no shortage. I mean, there's no shortage of crazy shit that happens there, you know?
Right.
Whew. Some stuff, I think, would be just... I mean, and honestly, there's a few things that have happened that were so out there that even I sit there sometimes and think about it and go, nah, no way. Like, that had to... You know, there was some context that was gone from that or something. Something I missed, you know, that explains that. But then you start piling them up. Just the one thing after another. And I mentioned earlier about a radio that spontaneously came on, you know,
Yeah.
which scared the shit out of me.
I've had the same thing happen to me. The exact same thing with a radio in an empty old building.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I'll never forget. I can't explain it. I don't know what happened. I cannot explain it. But this was, I want to say it was New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. One of the two. I was working, me and my uncle were running a side business basically, and I was doing some plaster repair in a building. And it's New Year's, so there was nobody else in the building but me. And it's a 3-story building that we were turning into 6 apartments. It was kind of a weird building too, because it had a basement and a sub-basement. So that's like kind of weird to begin with, but it's in old Fort Thomas. And I was the only one in the building. And I know I was the only one in the building because I had the key.
Right.
I let myself in and locked the door behind me. And I was working I think I was doing plaster around the bathtub. And one of these DeWalt radios, just like this one here, but the older style of it, with the old XLR or whatever they were, was in the kitchen. And it came on. And like it changed from EBN to the Fox and started turning up. Yeah, it was really weird.
That's
because I'm standing in the bathtub on stilts with plaster, and I'm like, what?
Hello?
And if you're wearing stilts, right, you're not running.
Right, yeah.
So I'm in a very vulnerable place, because I'm standing in a bathtub on stilts.
Yeah.
Holding a Hawken trial.
Oh, my God.
What?
It's crazy. But that shit happens.
Yeah.
My old house over in Alexandria, and I think it's okay to say, because, I mean, let's face it, guys. Nobody's stalking us. I mean, really. You know what I mean? Who would want to stalk us?
Right.
I mean, we would. I don't think we're above stalking Travis a little bit. I would stalk Travis. You guys want to stalk Travis?
I don't think he's very far away either, is he?
I don't know. We can trick him into his address though. We'll stalk him one night.
Pretty sure he's in the Midwest.
I don't think we should say this.
You guys out there, if you think we should reverse it, and instead of super fan stalking, we'll be the super show stalking a fan. You guys let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, show stalks super fan.
We're just hanging out with him. His wife is gonna hate us so much.
Kentucky X-Files, can you get out of my house?
They hate all our food.
They even went through the cereal boxes.
Took all the toys. Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. I haven't had milk in years. You know, the last time I had cereal, it had orange juice in it. And it's not the same.
You're a monster.
It's not the same. I tried it. It was a suggestion. Somebody was like, put orange juice in it,
No, I know you had milk.
Did I?
Not in cereal, but you can't. You never can go away from your.
Yeah.
Your what is it? Shakes, milkshakes.
Oh God, Tyler paid dearly for me having a milkshake, spending time with me.
Are you a lactose intolerant person?
Oh yeah, God, yes.
I did not. How have I known you this long and not known that?
I don't know, but it's me and milk. We just don't. We don't get along.
Yeah, no, it
That
doesn't.
explains why whenever I'm grilling sausages, he always goes straight for the Cajun and never goes for the better cheddars.
Well, I still love cheese,
Yeah.
but it still does a number.
Huh.
It's just I can't give it up.
Right.
But yeah, so at my old house, I had a friend over
This is the
there.
Milk Podcast.
Kentucky Milk Files.
The milk files. So a friend came over, and I was explaining to this friend, because he was very interested in all things paranormal for quite a while too. And me being me, I was like, well, I mean, this house has a spirit in it. It has a spirit of a child in it. And he's like, well, how do you know? And I'm like, well, whether or not it really is a child, I don't know. All I know is that I've perceived it as a child. The feeling of a child is what I get from all the experiences. We had a few things. I know my wife's had a couple things in that old house, but for me personally, it started with being in the shower, and my towel, which was on the towel rack, literally just unfolds itself and falls to the ground. And I'm like, oh, well, it slipped. I literally grabbed it, put it back up, made sure it was on there, And a few minutes later, out of the corner of my eye, I watch it literally come back off. Well, I get pissed. I hate to say it, but I'm kind of desensitized to this whole subject. It's not really a big deal to me. I literally, in the middle of my shower, go, if you're going to act like a child, I'm going to treat you like one. Respect my property. If you're here to play games, we can play games. But I'm not disrespecting you. Stop screwing with me. And I hung it back up, and that was that. Didn't mess with me anymore in the shower. The other thing that happened was the doors. Now, in an old house, I know you're familiar with this. You shut a door here, a door on the other end of the house will move, But having one that just opens and then just kind of closes itself. I mean, all the way to latched. And it started latched. That's the part that gets me every time.
Are you talking about the basement?
The basement door.
Because I think I saw that happen.
Yeah.
I was sitting on his love seat, and that door, like...
Yeah.
I'm like...
I've heard it happen.
The event in question, though, which I told all these things to this friend, and he kind of took in the stories and was like, oh, just like any ghost story you hear, you're like, oh, wow. But you weren't there, so it's hard to really get into what the person was feeling.
Right.
Unless you've had a similar incident. And we were upstairs, and I had this kind of like a little music area downstairs in a little spot where we used to kind of hang out and do things, you know. And he went back down there to grab something, and he grabs the door, the basement door, twists the handle, pulls it, and it literally yanks shut out of his hand. And he literally was white as a sheet after that. And he comes over to me, and he just sits down, and he just like kind of has his hand like a little bit over his mouth and like on his chin, and he just sat there, and I'm like, you okay? I thought he was getting sick. And he's like, something yanked the door out of my hand and it slammed the door. And I'm like, okay, and he's like, no, really. I'm like, I'm not disputing you. I'm saying, okay, so you've seen now. And he's like, he never was the same there. Every time he was there, he was always on edge a little bit, and it was just that old house, there was just things like that happened, and I know that whatever was going on in the house wasn't violent in any way, but the dogs knew about it, because out of nowhere, I remember we had the bedroom. Our kids were both in the same room, and they were little, and they were sleeping. The bedroom door was open just in case they needed us or anything, And my dog, he stood up and he's growling into the darkness.
That's always fun.
Into the darkness, towards their bedroom. And me and the wife, we kind of look at each other and Kat. I mean, what can I say? She's definitely has a spiritual side to her. She's open. She's she doesn't want to see,
Right.
but she believes it's there. She's had her own things that happened to her growing up, which I'd love to get her on here to tell her stuff from her old house, But I mean, when the animals see it, when another person experiences it, like you said, you saw the door do its thing, and it was weird, And we did find out later on that someone did pass away in the house. Apparently, a few things had happened. He passed away in one of the bedrooms, and there was some whatever about it. And for the most part, like I said, we never had any real negative anything. There was like noises that would happen in the night that didn't make much sense. Children's toys that would kind of go off at random. The door, the towel thing that happened and then stopped abruptly. And then me and Sam, my daughter, we downloaded an app for fun that was a spirit box. And we hooked it up to this amplifier down in my basement, and we just turned it on. And all it does is it literally broadcasts from some streaming radio. I think it's like iHeartRadio or something. And it literally just does white noise and random cut-ins of whatever as it goes through the frequencies. And I'll be damned if it wasn't answering the questions. And the funny thing about it was that it was answering questions, but it wasn't our questions. It was Kat's questions. Stuff that she was working on upstairs. And she was yelling at us because she's like, knock it off, quit messing with that stuff, et cetera, and so forth. And we're like all excited. We're like, oh, they said something about, we actually picked up. It was such a weird, like, random message. I was like, it's an app, it's probably programmed to do this, And it said something about, it was so detailed. It was like, let the goats into the yard for a couple hours. And I'm like, well, that's weird. So I went up and I told Kat, I'm like, yeah, it said something about letting the goats into the yard for a couple hours. And she just was like, can you please stop? And I'm like, what? She's like, I've been thinking about letting them graze. She has miniature goats, by the way, which I know some people have heard, in the background of earlier episodes. But she literally was like, it's him. It's the guy. And it was weird. It's a weird coincidence,
Right.
And stuff like that. It's interesting, Mm-hmm. I had an interesting thing the other day happen. I know. It's one night. I'd love to sit and tell you guys everything, but I had an interesting. I was having a really, really bad day at work. It's really rough. Everything was breaking. I mean, when I've always had a pet peeve of if I have to work on the tools all day and I can't do the job, it really, really gets to me because I want to do the job.
Right.
I don't want to work on the tools. I want to fix whatever it is, and I want to move on. And it was one thing after another. And I know I sent you guys a picture of one of the things that happened, and it was one thing breaking after another, after another, after another, after another. And I finally was sitting there, and I turned off the truck and I sat there and I was like, I need to take a minute here and just breathe. I need to calm down because I could just feel my impatience and my frustration and anxiety just all boil into a head, and I'm like, I don't want to let this come out at somebody who doesn't deserve it, or snap or whatever, So I'm like, I'm gonna chill out, and I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I'm replaying everything that's fucked up all day, and I said it out loud. I said, I don't know if I can stand this. And I'm telling you what, I heard somebody that I recognized say, you can stand it. You can stand it. And then I sat there for a second because I'm like, I started looking around. I kept thinking somebody was walking up to the truck. Somebody heard me and they were being a smartass or something. So I'm literally looking over the door and looking in the mirrors like, who the hell is, somebody coming up my blind spots and sneaking up on me, And I'm like, what the fuck? And then I literally hear another part, real brief, and it just said, "Your father taught you how to stand, so do it." And I was like, okay. So either I'm losing my mind, all this shit has pushed me into insanity, or someone reached out when I needed them to. Or maybe I didn't think I needed it, but hey, who knows, We can't really know. We can't really not know, I think. It just is what it is. I told you guys I've had a couple things like that. That's the second one that's ever happened, There's always a fear accompanying it. Either someone reached out, or it's in my head. And if it's in my head, then I have a lot of trouble on my road in the future. Because if it is all in my head, then I don't think these things go away on their own. It's more romantic to think of it as someone has reached out and they're helping me. And it's happened several times, but if they're not, and that doubt is impossible to get rid of because we're human. And I've never been much of a person of faith. But it is what it is. Yeah. I think a lot of people hear that. Maybe not exactly what I heard, but I think a lot of people hear, or they're tapped in. They're tapped in.
I feel like people probably take it with different perspectives too. Like I'm believing that this voice that you heard was somebody that you knew.
Oh yeah.
Somebody you knew.
I know.
Some people probably that hear those voices could have said it was God or
sure,
angels, or any of whatever you believe in, or you could believe like what you did, like it was a relative or something of that nature. So I feel like we're all believing in the same thing, but we just choose to like put our own version over it, like if it's religion or spiritual or whatever, it's all the same thing, but
that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Was we drew the grid on the calendar, we wrote the numbers in, and we named the month. But it's not real. It doesn't really exist. We made that because it's safe. We made clocks because it's safe. It's a rule that we came up with so we could be safe. We know how long things last, and we know when they're over. We came up with our age. We're not just old. We're 50 years old or 75 years old, or we're this many sons, old or whatever. We invented that, though. The earth is perfectly round or flat, depending on your belief. Birds are either robots or aliens or drones. And it is what it is. But the earth isn't perfectly round. And it doesn't wobble perfectly, every year. Things happen.
It's just like anything in this world. Nothing's perfect.
Nothing is perfect.
So, and machines break down all the time, no matter how sophisticated they are.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what the world is. It's a machine, and it has its problems. It has its drawbacks. So things are gonna break down. Things are gonna move in a weird way.
That's what I was saying earlier was I can't draw a line in the sand on any of these topics.
Yeah.
I want to, but I feel like if I do, it's too safe. I don't know if I'm saying it right,
I feel like you will miss pieces to the actual truth to some, because everybody I feel like I feel like everybody in this kind of like the podcast area, or like just the paranormal aspect, we always say pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
And I feel like everybody has it with everybody's version of okay, you have that, we have this, that person has this. It's just like if we dismiss every single thing,
Right.
even though that there's things that I can't grasp my head around, but I'm going to take into consideration and listen to the person because I don't know everything, and I know that's a cop out. I feel like that's another thing too is people always say, well, we just don't know, or we can't comprehend, or
Yeah.
that's hard for me. It's just.
But I mean, isn't that's basically the root of this show is philosophy.
Yeah.
If you think about it,
Yeah,
I mean,
I would agree with that. Yeah.
we debate. We debate stuff, the validity of certain things. We take in stories from people. We analyze things that we see. We go through it with a fine-toothed comb. And at the end of the day, are we any closer to the goal?
I don't think we ever will be either, because that's the entire purpose of what we do is to look at all the evidence. And the problem is there's evidence on everything, every side.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't ever have an answer.
Right.
We just discuss the philosophy behind it.
Yeah.
If we were over here giving absolute truths and telling everybody this is exactly how this goes,
Yeah.
we'd be liars.
Yeah.
We can't be.
We can't
Yeah.
take an authoritative stance
Yeah.
on it.
We can't say for a fact Bigfoot exists. We can't say for a fact Dogman does or doesn't. It's
Yeah.
we can't say for a fact that the spiritual realm is a real thing. But we can talk about what people
Right.
talk about, what they've seen, what they've heard.
Yeah.
It's like some of the guests we've had for sure. I believe that some of these people have absolutely seen things. But do I know what it was they saw?
Right.
No.
Yeah, because we're getting this third hand too, like, second hand.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes third hand.
sometimes third hand.
Yeah.
So it's hard to when you're coming in at second hand, you gotta trust that person. Like, and even like I know our fans love you guys to death. I wholeheartedly believe that you guys, some of the stuff that we say, you can't wrap your heads around. It's just too much because you guys don't know us personally.
Yeah.
So and those are the
We
that's
could
the thing.
superfan stalk you though at any moment.
Yeah.
So leave your address.
But yeah, that's
Perfectly safe. Sorry.
I lost my train of thought now.
That's my fault. Josh, can I have another beverage?
Absolutely.
I have to
Dealers.
play the game of guessing which one.
Yeah, it's the. I'm going to leave these here beers that I've accumulated over a few months. Everybody that comes here leaves whatever beer they don't drink, and
Let's try one of those.
my crisper quickly fills up. And with the festivities coming up here very soon, I need all the room in the fridge I can get.
Absolutely. You said you don't know us personally.
That's right.
That's where you're at.
My bad.
My fault.
No, it's all good.
If I'm fired, just let me know.
Terrible
Yeah,
conductor.
you guys don't know us personally, and I feel like that's the thing is, don't take with what we say and I hope that we don't get any backlash for this, but don't take any other podcast seriously like that too.
Yeah,
like,
but some of these
no-
people do know us personally.
That is true. There's a few
There's
out
a
there
few.
that
See,
know.
he's dealing in absolute truth. that
Compromising.
cannot be delivered.
They have compromising info on us.
Yes,
So,
that's why we can't say anything for certain about anything.
We have to be perfectly diplomatic.
Yes.
are you saying they're going to blackmail us?
No, I'm saying that, you said for certain they don't know us personally, but there's a lot of people that do.
You think too is also the more
feel
they
like I'm
listen,
being-
the more they do get to know
Pain,
us.
like you guys are kicking me into a corner here.
Not kicking.
No.
It's like a little hiney paddling.
No, you guys are the guys in
Bang,
the
bang,
locker room and hitting me whipping me with a towel.
Dude, there's no way we could pick on you on the podcast. Do you know how much flack we would get?
We would get so much.
Tyler's a saint.
Leave Tyler alone.
You
Leave
have-
Tyler alone.
There is definitely a large group of Team Tyler out there.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if we have. I don't know if we even, Josh, if me and you even have our own fan armies to go against him.
I
He
don't
could
believe it.
take over and fire us both.
I don't believe we do. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because before I even came on the show when I was a fan, I was Team Tyler.
Damn it! This is bullshit.
I thought you were going to turn
I guess-
fucking Judas.
I guess, this episode of TY X-Files is... We'll know when the new logos start showing up and it says TY X-Files.
He does all the thumbnail work for
He
us, so
does.
he could change the name in a heartbeat.
That is true.
But yeah, back to what I was saying before I got bullied.
Railroaded.
Yeah, for a second time actually too.
Can you put the train noise? I know we've got at least one on file from where it went by.
Yeah, we should be able to do that.
I just wanted to say, like, just don't. Our podcast, anybody else's podcast, don't base your opinion off of what we say. Base your opinion, like, let it shape it. Take what we said and go to another place and take what they said and then kind of shape your own opinion. I feel like that's the real
Pieces
way
to the puzzle.
It's the real way to get the truth out of everybody because we're I know for a fact, I probably missed something in the midweek episode when I talked about the Amityville horror thing. So I don't want you to take everything I say take everything when I say with a grain of salt because I could have missed something, or I could have said something different, or I actually changed it because there's countless stories out there that get changed and it's mudded up.
We're probably the only cryptid X-Files podcast that says that, too.
Yeah.
It seems like there's a lot of narrative pushing out there.
Yeah,
And I
hate the idea of getting into the controlled narrative.
I get it because it's
let it
a
happen.
show and stuff, and you're trying to promote a show, and especially like if this is not your show, like it's ours. This is ours. No one else owns this show but us.
Yep.
Once you get into like corporate stuff, like TV branches and stuff, and they actually have control of your show, that's when it gets hard and it gets muddy, and people cave because they are like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
So it's twisting their arm. Like, I feel like there's good people out there that are probably in any industry. Once corporate gets involved, it starts to go downhill because they have to have a narrative. They have to have, because they want you to keep watching so you can watch commercials. Buy.
That's exactly what it is. You got to keep the advertisers
Yeah,
happy.
you got to keep the advertisers.
If somebody walked in with a suitcase right now and laid like $10 million on the table and said, "Hey guys, you guys do your show for us," I mean, would that be a hard no?
It depends on what's in the contract. Do we have
Yeah,
control
we'd
of
have-
the
yeah.
content? How much of the royalties do we cover? I mean, there's a lot of stuff we'd have to factor
I would
in.
hope. I would hope. All jokes aside, that someone would realize that this is the people's show. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I mean, we're the we're not scientists. We're just the everyday guy.
Yeah.
You know, like we're working class podcasters. You know, like I mean, we're you know what I mean?
I'm just saying, if they're offering us $10 million,
yeah.
I think we're already sitting pretty, because something we're doing good.
Yeah, if they brought a big
Yeah, like I would think that we're at least making half that.
Oh, if they showed up with 10, we're definitely worth 12 at least.
You know what though? In other news though,
So-
we are almost 100-aires.
Nice.
So yeah, I think we've almost hit $100 with our
amazing.
podcast, which is, you know what I mean? I hadn't really paid much attention lately, and I just kind of happened upon it and seen it, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. That's wild.
And
Like,
that's because
really?
of you guys.
That's
'Cause you
completely
keep-
because of you guys.
Yeah, because you keep clicking.
Yep. You
Helping
guys
us out.
Seem to be on the train with us, which is awesome. You know,
We can buy a case for the microphones.
we could totally buy a case for the microphones.
yeah.
As soon as that's available to us, I don't know how they do it, but once they release that to us, we could totally do that. We did get a case for our little recorder though, so that's pretty cool.
Thank God.
We got a new tripod, too.
We got a new tripod.
Yeah.
We're moving up.
Moving on up.
So what do you guys think? Think we should put a lid on this one for this week?
Yeah, I need to take a
Absolutely.
break. My butt hurts.
All right.
I'm sorry.
It's all that railroading we gave him.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I'm sitting on this stool. It's hurting.
Well, you guys out there, you know, keep it coming. Send us everything. You know, anything you want to talk about or you want us to discuss or look into. I know somebody had something recently that they sent in. I wanted to touch on it on the midweek mysteries episode. So you know what? You guys be good to each other, and we'll see you on the next one.